Welcome, you're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. With a lineup featuring British awards favorites, festival hits and the winner of the Venice Film Festival, the British Council is pleased to announce the 18th New British Film Festival in Kyiv. It runs from 22nd till 28th of November and offers a diverse program. To talk more about the festival, we welcome to our studio Illya Zabolotniy. He's the arts manager at the British Council of Ukraine. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, always a pleasure to be here.
So tell us all about the festival this year.
Well, I would say that, these days it's almost winter outside, so it's such a pleasure to go to a cinema with a good company and see cool movies. So that's why we are organizing the New British Film Festival this period of year. And as you already said, we have quite astonishing program. So each day you can pick up films that I would say, very interesting for you, world premieres, and also very important part that part of the films we screen with special subtitles and special audio description for people with...
For visually impaired people.
Yeah.
This is the practice that has been implemented for the first time at this festival. I know that it's too early to talk about the feedback because the festival hasn't actually been held yet, but what kind of feedback do you expect to get? Do you expect to get more of the audience with people who have hearing impairments?
Well, I would say, with one festival, it's very hard to actually answer all questions. Yeah. But for sure, in our society, it's a huge question that people with disabilities, with special requirements, they're usually even not noticed. So I would say this chance that we actually screen two films with, special addition to people with disabilities, it actually creates more a very important notice that it's very important in any event that you organize to always think about that group of people, think how you can actually connect them to that event, how you can make it more accessible. And that is one of more core ideas why we are organizing this. And to be honest, it's quite hard because, for example, really simple, we want to actually do two films, three showcases with audio description. Simple sounding, simple how to do that, but in fact it's really hard because you have...
What's the biggest difficulty in the whole process?
Because the biggest difficulty is that all infrastructure is not actually ready for that. If you want to do one showcase, you actually have to bring all that stuff with you. And for one showcase, it's extremely expensive. And that's why it's also with this importance of this actions that we do with this, more accessibility, we show that this infrastructure has to be built, it has to be invested. Because, accessibility is not only, how people actually get physically to the space, to exhibition, to film showcase, but also how film exhibition could be also, content could be adopted for their needs. How they can read, how they can be helped, because they're the same people as we are. They have the same desires, but often when you are not noticing them and they are not on the streets, it's some kind of distorted image that they don't exist. If they don't exist, no problem. But we focus that it is very important. But it's a very, long-run project, program that has to be also supported by, government, country, city council, starting from that to be honest, not all Kyiv cinemas has accessibility. So
it's not only cinemas that actually face this problem. It's the whole infrastructure in Kyiv, not only in Kyiv, and in major and rural cities and towns of Ukraine. So.
Yeah. And also, but of course, as I said before, with one festival we can't, deal with all problems. But as we also have, we have the main festival program in Kyiv cinema, but in regions we go with our film clubs program. So it's actually really interesting program, very simple. That
speaking of the program, how many films do you have in the program, and what criteria did you use to pick the films out for the festival? Because I'm sure there were a lot of films that you had to pick out from.
For the main festival program that goes in Kyiv, we have 6 new films. Each was selected with, criteria to show the excellence and diversity of UK cinema. So, for example, festival opener favorite is actually a world premiere because it will go live in the world actually on 3rd of January, I think.
Is this the film produced in Great Britain?
It's actually by Greek director Yorgos Lanthimos. But as you know, in modern world, it's very hard actually to pick what
We're all cosmopolitan.
We are all cosmopolitan, but in every film as a program there is a very peculiar UK element. So, for example, I don't know, in a film Rungano Unioni, I'm Not a Witch. It's actually a Welsh Zambian director. So because we also do this year we wanted in our selection to do actually a focus on women empowerment and equality. That's why we have in program film Colette. It's
also a very important issue to take notice of.
So it's trying to show what are trends in UK cinema, in UK film industry. But in 1 week, it's of course really, really hard. But we try actually to do this like a sketch, to show what are the trends.
Which of these picked out movies would you personally recommend to watch? For me, as a participant of the audience.
Well, very simple, all of them.
Okay, but do you have a favorite one? Not to mention the favorite that is the opener.
Okay. Then my actually long-standing favorite is BAFTA shorts. So it's actually the most prominent short films from the competition of British BAFTA, and also very interesting premiere film debut of this year, film Beast. By Michael Pearce. It's actually a thriller, so I don't go there alone.
Okay. Thanks for the piece of advice.
But it's very good film.
Okay. The festival itself was being held in Ukraine for 18 years now. Now this is the 18th year. Throughout this time period, how did the preference of Ukrainian film audience change towards the films produced in Great Britain?
Well, I would say if we go through all these years, Ukrainian audience always love UK films. I would say in terms of festival as something opposite to mainstream films that is showed for commercial purposes in cinema, it is quite hard to actually bring art house films in sense of because a lot of distributors actually feel that it's quite a challenge for them then to have
they're afraid for the box office. If I'm
But as it's also very important to mark that we work with Art House Traffic, our main partner. So we actually work very closely with them and with our film advisor in London to pick films each year to somehow show what trends are in UK cinema, where it goes, what topics are actually highlighted, what are focused. I would say there is a very big in regions of Ukraine, there is a very big interest in UK films. It's quite hard for us to get there to local cinemas also in terms of how to convince local distributors to actually buy rights for these films, because also in Ukraine it's not a secret we have quite big pirate problems with films, but we try to challenge them with actually very legal, very clear, very simple program with film clubs.
Okay.
Where if you run a film club, you just apply through a website, and then you have your right to pick up to actually form your new British Film Festival and show it in your country, in your village, in your library, in your
That's a great initiative.
Yeah, the only thing that you have to actually clearly show that you don't earn money from it, so it's like pro bono work for us and for film clubs. But with this, actually we started to do this last year, and we feel that it's a huge interest among the regions, and it's actually growing with a lot of inquiries and requests.
Thank you so much for coming and telling all this to us and our audience.
Thank you.
That was Illya Zabolotniy. He is the arts manager at British Council Ukraine. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned with UATV.